And my final question, we've heard, many of you emphasize how gout affects more than just the joints. Would you dive into how gout impacts the entire body? You've mentioned, exercise and heart health. How does gout impact heart health?
Yeah, this is really an area where the research has taken off over the last 10 years.
Mhm.
We've always known that there is an association between gout and diabetes, gout and hypertension, gout and heart disease and stroke. But what that relationship was wasn't clear. For a long time, it was thought that maybe those diseases also were driven by uric acid elevations. That's probably not true, or it's not the whole story. The whole story is something that was touched on a little bit before, and that's that there's ongoing inflammation. The big inflammation is the flare. That's what people recognize and think all of gout is. But these times between the flares, what we call intercritical periods, the inflammation is going on all the time. And if you do different laboratory tests that measure inflammation, you can see that they're elevated even, 3, 4, or 5 months after the last flare. And these actually contribute to hardening of the arteries, both in the heart and in the brain. They contribute to high blood pressure. They contribute to kidney disease, chronic kidney disease. So this chronic inflammation seems to be what's kind of driving the relationship between gout and heart disease and stroke at the same time.
Dr.
And
Parker, would you like to add on to that?
no, that was really well said.
Mhm.
I don't think I could really add to that. I'll say that, to my patients, because I'm very simple minded, I'll just say, listen, if these uric acid crystals can land in and around joints or wherever blood takes them, blood can go anywhere. So you can get these accumulations of uric acid in your kidneys. They can cause kidney stones. You can get them in your heart, literally in the heart vessels, as Dr. Edwards was pointing out. You can get them in the lung. You can get them in the eye. You can get them wherever. And so I use that kind of as a scare tactic for patients who don't want to be proactive, as Gary was saying earlier, and get that uric acid down. I go, listen, it's not just intermittent flares. You're beating yourself up all over the place if you're just letting this thing go. And some people hear me out. Some people wait, but God will make a believer out of you if you keep getting those flares.
Yes, that's true. With my experience, I would have to say that gout. We have a saying: gout doesn't sit alone, right? It's really true, and I have to tell you, when gout was unmanaged, my body was really falling apart. I had kidney issues. I had lost 20% of my kidneys. Why? Because I was overusing pain medication and whatnot. My weight was up to, I think, 235 pounds. I'm 5'10". I look healthy now, and because I am, but there was a point where I was 70 plus pounds heavier. I'm barely able to move because just because of the unmanaged gout. That came with high blood pressure.
Mm.
That came with, just all kinds of issues. This is real. Again, we're not bringing this up to scare. It's more factual. Just the facts. It's the facts of life. Do you have gout and it's unmanaged? It's going to happen. You're not only going to have gout. It's You'll probably end up having other comorbidities that will join
Mhm.
the crew, right? And they'll be part of you. But don't feel overwhelmed, because once you're able to manage gout, then it's like taking a bite out of an elephant, one piece at a time. You just take that first step and then that second step. You're going to get better. And as you get better, you're going to be able to do more things. You feel more confident about your life. And the fact that you're not living in pain as much or anymore, like I haven't been in pain since 2010, no attacks since 2010. I was able to reshift my life, get back in the gym, develop a low impact workout for myself that's good for my body, lost all my weight. I'm probably healthier now at 55 than I was, I don't know, at 24, I would say.
I got to remind our listeners, if you haven't heard Gary's story before, when he showed up to see me, this guy was in a wheelchair. Not a functional person. Yeah, that's how bad it can beat you up.
It was bad. So to say that it's imperative that we manage gout in a proactive way, meaning that we do everything we can to target the cause of gout and not just the symptom. That's the key. Once you're able to do that, everything else should slowly fall into line. Right.
Fantastic.